Time is the enemy of every creature, so use it wisely. Easier said than done. So how do we use time to serve as our benefit? We all know that we hit plateaus in our life. It's usually in midlife where we feel we've accomplished something, we have regrets, and now it's downhill from here. So how do we capitalize on time? There's a lot of things that we humans do that are crazy. We have plastic surgery, we take these youth pills, supplements to make us feel younger, and we're focusing on so much to take back time. But what if we actually capitalize on the time that we have? Take an inventory of your day and see where you spend your time. I actually told this to my roommate, and we found out that she spends a lot of time organizing. And I even joke with her. I said, why don't you just start a YouTube channel on teaching people how to organize? Because you're always organizing. When you understand what you do with your time, you could assess if what you do with your time is impactful or not. And then you could understand how to change it. Time is not a bad thing. It's okay to say to yourself, I am having 4 hours in the afternoon and I'm just going to do nothing and daydream. That's still using your time. It's a choice on how you use your time. For some of us who feel like we don't have enough time, that's actually a trick that we play with ourselves. We always have enough time if we prioritize our time. We always can buy more time, hear me out, if we prioritize our time. And the big realization that I've just recently came up with is the power of no, and no is a complete sentence. I credit my friend Kate, who's the founder of Valencia's Hemingway Club. It's a literary club here in Valencia, Spain. She says no is a complete answer. And what's important about time is that any given moment, we can assess what we do with our time. At any given moment, we could reorganize our day to have more time. We can say no. We can change our habits. We can change our patterns of thinking, but we cannot do it unless we understand what we do with our time. When somebody tells me I don't have enough time, I want to ask them, what do you do with your time? But it's weird. How do you ask that to a person who doesn't understand where the time goes? It's much harder, right? I have this little project management tool called Trello, and I put time limits on how much I spend doing tasks so that in the afternoon I could have 4 hours to myself, whether I'm cooking, exercising, or taking a nap, or going for a walk. It doesn't matter, but I have long periods of time where I do nothing because I have short amount of time where I hyper focus and do a lot. One of the biggest killers for me is to spend all day in the office. And for those of us that have to do that, sometimes we have to do 8 hours or 10 hours in the office. But how much of that time are we actually working? Sometimes a lot of us are on the phone or talking in the coffee lounge or in the lunchroom or whatever. And that's also productive time. But we actually don't spend 8 or 10 hours consistently doing one thing and consistently being in the office. And if we do, think to yourself, can I accomplish the same in 6 hours? One time I was working as an executive assistant in Manhattan, New York. And I remember that I was asked to stay in the office for like 8 to 10 hours actually. And I was so frustrated because I would always get everything done with the team in 5. This is why in grad school I spent less time doing homework than in my college, because I figured out the importance of time and priorities and organizing those priorities in order of importance. Now, here's another hack. In the morning, that's where my high energy levels are up. I do the hardest things first and reward myself with the easy things. If you do it the other way around, it's much harder to do. And if you like to work at night, you could also reorganize your time. This is why I'm a big fan of remote work, because it's accustomed to our circadian rhythm and our way of being and working. Ideally, you want to align your work with your circadian rhythm. And for those of you that don't know circadian rhythm, what that is, it's actually our natural cycles of reaching energy efficiency. There's a reason why we're human beings and creatures of habit, and we do the same thing every day. Please leave a comment. Any of this makes sense. I appreciate you and I read them. Using time wisely will allow us the opportunity to free ourselves and have more time to do what we love. Imagine if you could reorganize your day and you could have that extra hour to do what you love. Compounded over time, that gives you some nice points for joy and health. So if you could just buy back time with organizing your priorities and focusing on how to better improve your time management, then you will see what kind of opportunities come in your path because you've cleared the way for them to land. If you want to check out more strategies and tips on how to reset your mind, check out my playlist, Mindset Reset with Alice. And as always, do the best that you can every day.